In this video, I'm breaking down 3 watercolor effects that get confused all the time: granulation, color separation, and blossoms. They may look similar, but they happen for very different reasons. And once you understand that, you can control them instead of just hoping for the best. Hello, watercolor artists. I posted this on Reddit this morning. I had a lot of people who had questions about it. I call these the Daniel Smith separating colors. And a lot of the comments that came back were talking about granulation as opposed to separating. So I'm going to explain the difference between separation with watercolors, blossoming, and granulation. First off, with separating colors, anytime you have more than 1 or 2 colors that are put into a tube together, technically they can separate in the paper, because what happens is one pigment soaks into the paper faster than the other one. Then if you hit it with water, the colors separate. Now, these are all Daniel Smith separating colors. They're designed to separate in the paper. So if you don't hit it with water, they don't do very much. But when you hit it with water, you're going to start to see the colors do separate. And for example, here, I've got Moonglow and Shadow Violet. You can really see the blue and the green here is kind of separating from each other. And here's a better example of the Daniel Smith Rose of Ultramarine. You can technically see that the red is separating from the blue. So these guys are designed to separate on the paper when you do water blossoms on top of them. While the paint's still wet, it looks like this way it's still wet, but then when you drop more water into it, what happens is those colors do separate. And here are some examples of colors that blossom very well. Blossoms are also called backgrounds. And this is what happens when you introduce water on top of the wet paint. What it does is it pushes the pigment aside. You can really see how this color really blossoms very well. This is Holbein Marine Blue. But you can also see here that the manganese blue doesn't really blossom great until it's like very, very light. Here's some other really good blossoming colors. Here is Prussian blue, which blossoms very, very well. But you can see over here that Holbein Cobalt Turquoise Light doesn't blossom very well. It soaks into the paper very quickly. Here are 2 more examples of colors that blossom very well. Here's got Winsor Newton Scarlet Lake. And I have Holbein Shadow Green, which blossoms very, very well. Granulating watercolors, on the other hand, it's just a natural property of certain pigments. You can see the reticulated pattern here in the paper, and this is on cold pressed paper, so it shows a little bit more reticulation. Some colors are either granulating or they're not granulating. It doesn't matter if the color is granulating. Every pigment is completely different. So if it's granulating, sometimes it's not mutually exclusive that it's good for blossoming. Sometimes granulating paints blossom very well. Other colors really don't blossom very well that are super granulating. So you just have to figure that out. This is Tundra Violet and Tundra Rosa, and these are from the Schmincke Super Green line of paints, if I could speak English. And as you can see here, these are super granulating because there's several colors put into a tube. Most of them are used with ultramarine blue, which is always a granulating blue color. Here in this example, I wanted to show you the Schmincke Forest Green and Tundra Orange. These are super granulating colors, and they're separating colors too. The colors do separate in the piece of paper, but you can't get them to blossom very well. If you drop water on top of it, it really doesn't do much, but the colors do separate in the paper when you're painting it though. Here's another example of a super granulating color. This is Cobalt Turquoise Light. You can see here it's a super granulating color, but when you hit it with extra water, it just really doesn't blossom very much. Unlike Prussian Blue, look at that Prussian Blue. I mean, that goes crazy. Drop some water into that. See the huge difference between these guys? If you're looking for intentional blossoms, you do have to just play around and do color studies like this, and just remember, because every color is just completely different. Here's 2 more examples of colors that really blossom very well. Here's Scarlet Lake and Shadow Green by Holbein. Look at that. That's crazy. So is that. But some colors just don't do this. You just have to play around and just figure out what they do. So if you want these effects, do some color studies beforehand. I have several more examples to show you here. This is the Seaside Temple in Busan, Korea. I wanted lots of intentional water blossoms, so make sure to test out my colors beforehand because I knew they'd blossom very well. And then I have the painting I showed earlier, the Hagia Sophia in Turkey, using like phthalo blue, for example. These colors blossom very well, but they're not really separating colors or very granulating colors. Then the other painting here of the whale, this is colors that separate in the paper using the Daniel Smith Rose of Ultramarine and Undersea Green. They're definitely granulating colors too. Then the last 2 pictures I'm going to show you here are colors with extreme granulation using Daniel Smith's Lunar Black. This is a very granulating paint. 3 effects, 3 causes. Know the difference. Enjoyed this content, please hit subscribe. If you're interested in all the materials used in this painting, check out the YouTube description below. Thank you for watching, and happy painting.